Welcome to Living a Simple Life. I'm Aaron Murphy and we're talking about tiny house design ideas, top 10 energy saving tips for your tiny home. Reducing your carbon footprint and lowering your energy bills often go hand in hand. I mean, that's right. You can actually do less harm to the planet while living really comfortably in your house. Design tip number 10. Design your house for passive solar benefits. Passive solar design is amazing because it allows a home builder like me to heat and cool my house by designing my tiny house around the seasonal movement of the sun. Learn everything you can about passive solar design because the payoff will be huge. It's really worth it to understand how passive solar design can save you money, fuel, and the harmful impacts on the earth. Here's another great post about this sort of thing if you want to keep reading up. Number 9, factor landscaping into your plans. If you want to save money, energy, and make your house more beautiful while increasing its value, add landscaping to your house plan design. In the summertime, for example, you can reduce the temperature of your eastern and western facing walls by up to 10% just by shading them. Who knew? Trellis plants with broad leaves like grapes work great. In fact, in the summertime, the leaves fall off, exposing more of your house to the winter sun. By designing your landscape with a retaining wall or a section of dense plants on the north side of your tiny house, this will shield your home from the harsh winter winds. And you can even add like a water feature, like a pond or a fountain on the south side of your tiny house that can cool the air around your house in the summertime and reflect more light into your home in the wintertime. Number 8, utilize advanced framing techniques. Thermal bridging is a problem for your home when it comes to trying to insulate it. Modern builders are typically aware of ways to reduce thermal bridging during framing. Of course, the goal of insulation is to keep heat energy inside your house during the winter and outside during the summer. Thermal bridging lets heat energy move past your insulation and through your walls, which leads to uncomfortable temperatures and higher heating and cooling bills as well. One amazing benefit of advanced framing techniques is the use of less wood during construction of your tiny house, which is good for the planet and also saves you money. Number 7, insulate your home adequately. Setting up your tiny home with proper insulation will make it cost more to build, but it will definitely be worth it in the long run when you take into consideration the amount of money you will save during its lifetime. There are lots of different types of insulation and each offers different advantages. I'm a fan of denim insulation and reclaimed rigid polyiso foam. We used a combination of straw bales, open cell polyiso foam, and expanded closed cell foam to make our tiny home super insulated. Here's a link to help sort out your insulation options. Boom. If you live in the US, this chart will help you figure out how much insulation you need depending on where you live and the type of climate you experience. Number 6, choose an efficient water heating system. A great way to heat water with the least amount of energy is by using a solar hot water heating system. You can save space in your tiny house because lots of the hardware can be located outside. Here's a great website that explains the pros and cons of different passive solar water heating systems. My tiny house uses reclaimed flat plate collectors to heat liquid that gets pumped through the floors during our long Midwest winters. If a solar-based system won't work for you, I would recommend an on-demand water heater. You only heat the water you use as you use it, and it does not have a storage tank, so you can save even more precious space in your tiny home. Normally with a hot water tank, you are storing some quantity of hot water that keeps getting heated up throughout the day, whether you use it or not, which wastes a lot of energy, especially if you're outside all day gardening or shooting videos like me. With the tank, you might be adding unwanted heat to your tiny house during the hot weather as well. Number 5, install a cool roof. A cool roof is simply an advanced reflective material that prevents heat energy from absorbing into the roof of your home. You can drastically save on summer cooling costs with this technology, especially during times of peak energy usage. You'll also extend the longevity of your roofing material by shielding them from the sun's ravages. I built my house from a white metal roof to reduce excessive heat, but it'll also last a really long time compared to traditional roofing materials like asphalt shingles. I also have the advantage of collecting rainwater from my roof without the nasty asphalt flavor that could be imparted if I used shingles. Number 4, include a compressible filler layer in your foundation, whatever that is. One of the main sources of air infiltration in a house is the juncture between the foundation and its walls. Oftentimes, this narrow gap is completely uninsulated, making indoor temperature control rather difficult to manage. A compressible filler layer is a strip of synthetic foam that is applied to the upper surface of the foundation before the baseboards are installed for the walls. When the house is finished, this foam is compressed under the weight of the materials, which effectively seals any tiny little gaps between the wood and the masonry foundation. And by the way, this is way easier than trying to go back and add insulation after the fact. I've seen some natural homes use natural wood or even plastic trash as a way to seal air gaps between the foundation and the building's frame. Number 3, choose the highest quality windows you can afford. Between 15 and 22% of energy loss is through your windows. By installing Energy Star models, you could go as high as quadruple paned windows, by the way. You will save tons of energy year-round. We are very much into using reclaimed and recycled materials here at Dancing Rabbit Ecovillage, but using insulated, efficient windows is also really important to performance of our buildings. And modern used doors and windows are really difficult to come by. So often home builders here end up buying them new when maybe everything else in their house is reclaimed, because for us, energy efficiency is really that important. Number 2, manage your heating and cooling with an air source heat pump. An air source heat pump is a super efficient HVAC, a heating, ventilation, and cooling system. It grabs heat from the air and invites it into your house to have some hot cocoa with you. A model sized for an averaged family dwelling will run you around $3,000, including installation, but the energy savings you will experience will be huge. You get extra points if you power your air source heat pump from your own solar panels. Unlike gas or wood furnaces, heat pumps operate without creating pollution. Of course, this is true as long as your electricity source does not include like coal power or nuclear energy. We have one in our house which we operate using sustainably produced electricity from our own local solar panels. And finally, number 1, consider a closed-loop geothermal heat pump. If you don't plan on building a mobile tiny home, you could cut your heating bill by anywhere from 40 to 70% and your cooling costs by as much as 30 to 40% with the installation of a closed-loop geothermal heat pump. There are other types of geothermal heat pumps, but the closed-loop systems offer the most potential for energy savings. Basically, this technology works by taking advantage of the constant temperature just below the surface of the soil to moderate the temperature inside your house. Depending on the model of system you choose, installation could be quite expensive, but these can be offset with the help of federal tax credits for a rebate of up to 30%. And for new construction homes that are located in areas in the cold north or in areas with wide temperature swings like here in Missouri, this is really a great investment. Bonus tip, get a blower door test. Suppose you had a hole in your wall big enough to crawl through. You'd fix it, right? In reality, most houses have scads of little pinholes and cracks that are easily overlooked. But if you add them all together, they amount to leaving a window open for like 24 hours a day. It all comes down to a metric called air changes per hour. A blower door test will determine how many air changes are happening in your home and give you a clear sense of how much you could stand to benefit by making minor repairs around your house and plugging up all those little holes. When we did a blower door test on our house while enclosing our straw bale walls with earthen plaster, the results that we got actually really inspired us to employ some high-tech insulation materials around our doors and windows. And our home is performing way better than I had expected. And I'm not blowing hot air. If you want to see more videos like this, go to livingasimplelife.com. Thanks for watching. Whoopity-doo! Hopefully the camera was still going. Yes!